Hey, 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 hey. And happy bank I mean, I don't know whether you do happy bank holidays, but why not? Let's do a happy bank holiday for us. Oops. Okay, something weird's just happened. There we go. So it is another Monday and another attempt to kind of break through some of the psyops that have been going on. So it is bank holiday here. It is like 29 degrees. It was 29 degrees before, but obviously it's getting a bit cooler because it's, you know, like as time goes on and it becomes nighttime, it gets cooler. But I absolutely want to maybe get outside a little bit. I've been working all day. I'd very much appreciate your time, and I do always want to be speedy. So I am going to be on the ball today, aiming for an hour and a half max. Okay, so first up, where's my list? First up, we're going to play in Israel influencer bingo. And it's actually been really interesting watching all the Israeli not Israeli influencers, but MAGA influencers, UK influencers, all coming out with the same story, right? So children in Gaza are not starving. The food is getting through, and they're stood in front of the piles and piles and piles of aid that the UN aren't allowing to go over, right? So that's Israel's side. Palestinians are saying they're starving, but then there's images of it all kind of being faked. Images that the BBC are using are people who have children who have medical conditions, and children there's a child from Libya being shown. So there's lots of kind of propaganda on both sides, but I've been watching the Israel I have been playing Israel influencer bingo, and what I wasn't expecting to see, because I clearly don't keep up with all the latest makeup style and kind of fashion. I just do what I want, right? So what I wasn't expecting to see was somebody who looked like they got caterpillars attached to their forehead, trying to talk about geopolitics. So I mean, it takes all sorts, but so this influencer was sat in her car, which I think is a really strange place to do what I would assume is quite have an important kind of conversation. You'd at least I don't know, find a few minutes to just kind of sit down. Bearing if this is real, right? If this is real, you'd hope that somebody would find the time to actually, I don't know, get out of the car before we start talking about like genocide. So a few weeks ago, there was media articles about Israel, doing busing, literally flying people over, right? So since those media articles came out, and I've just been watching to see what happens, and it is the exact same story. There was also a tall, very attractive looking lady wearing like it was so funny because she kind of had Naomi Campbell catwalk vibe, right? So with that style clothing, so very well dressed, right? Very well dressed, looked beautiful, and she was wearing like an army stab vest thing right over this like maxi dress with and I was sat there going, this is just like, are you telling me you've gone to a war zone wearing like couture and then just like put on the stab vest thing, stood in front of the food, right? Just I wasn't expecting catwalk model, but I don't know why, because obviously we've had Bono and all of that bullshit. It's funny. It's really funny. Okay. So if you okay, so just play influencer bingo with me, right? So every time you see an influencer, because you know influencer, that's literally in the title of their job description. Well, I mean, I would say it's probably not a real job, but they're earning way more than me. So, you know, what is a real job in this day and age? Okay, so just watch it. Okay, so if you kind of see my social media accounts, you'll see that I share kind of both sides, right? And it is true that this has been going on for a very long time. It is true that Hamas are putting out propaganda. It is true that Israel are also putting out propaganda. So there was a you know, Hamas-based propaganda, which is all pushing the fact that the UK and France had this secret agreement way back in the early 1900s, and it's all our fault. Can we just acknowledge the fact that the Ottoman Empire was trying to take over the world and they lost, right? So it's not like England and France just kind of went, do you know what we should do? We should just fuck shit up, like for shits and giggles. I mean, maybe that happened, right? But there was in the age of empires, right? Everybody's trying to take over the world. Everybody's trying to grapple for control. Everybody's after land. Everybody was invading each other. Everybody was taking over each other. And in a war, there's two sides. And in that war, the Ottoman Empire lost. And when an empire loses, their land gets divvied up. That's what fucking happens, right? So it wasn't the case that we just decided, hey, do you know what? Just do this thing, right? However, we were also empiring, right? Everybody was empiring. It wasn't like we were the only people that were doing it. The Ottoman Empire, right? Inclusive the name there, kind of like the Roman Empire, and we got invaded twice, or the Vikings who invaded the United Kingdom multiple times, or the Gauls, or like the Greeks and Alexandria. Like that is what people were doing. It's only in this like teeny tiny, like the last less than 100 years did we all stop categorically trying to invade everybody, right? Like in our long human history, that's pretty much what we've been doing. We've been claiming land. We've been you know, going full pelt at destroying other people, right? Everybody now everybody talks about the British Empire. We weren't the only people doing it. We just happened to win that one, right? We lost a few times. We won quite a lot, which is why the Queen owns like didn't she own like 72% of the entire fucking world? So the Brits were good at it, right? I mean, but we didn't do it today, right? What's happening right now is some religious institutions are trying to do it today. That's a pretty big issue that nobody wants to talk about, right? And obviously, you know, the CIA are doing it through the back door, and MI6 are doing it through the back door, right? And the UN, what do you think the UN's doing? And NATO, like NATO is the empire. But so let's stop rewriting history, please, to all the people on both sides of the fucking propaganda bullshit. But the Israel one's funny because it's the same. It's really, it's just funny. Because I think it's funny because it's ludicrous. And they look ludicrous. I mean, I know that I look very dressed up today, but like I said, it's bank holiday, right? So I've been like did a bit of work, been chilling in the garden. If I was off to freaking the Gaza Strip, I would not be wearing this. I would not be rocking up in a freaking maxi dress and platform sandals. I would not be. It just. I mean, I would costume change, right? At least. I mean, and I'd probably. I haven't seen anybody with a hat yet. If you find somebody wearing a hat, you got to send it my way, please. Especially if they've got those caterpillar eyebrows. I mean, that would just. That would just. I think I'd still be laughing, like days later. Days. I mean, what is that? I mean, I'm sorry, we shouldn't be bitchy and moo. I just don't understand it. And I think it's because I grew up when everybody spent their entire school like lives taking a piss out of the unibrow. Like, I don't think I ever saw that being a thing. Ever. It's the one thing I didn't get the mick taken out of me about, because like I don't do anything with my eyebrows. I'm too lazy. I'm genuinely too lazy. Like, it takes me like 4 minutes to do my hair. I wash it. I dry this bit. I think fuck it, right? Like that's the effort, right? I mean, there's so much more important shit going on in life than styling. Which is why my hair always looks crazy, but I don't care. Okay, so here we go. I was quite shocked to find out when I did a little bit of digging. I did my due diligence. I was quite interested to find out like the amount of cash, right? So there were covert influence campaigns. So covert is kind of like secret, and overt is like everybody fucking knows it's going on because it was in the newspapers. So there were covert influence campaigns in 2024. £2 million $2 million was spent for a secret operation using hundreds of fake news social media accounts on platforms like X, Facebook, and Instagram, posing as Americans to urge US lawmakers to continue funding Israel's military. So it was Tel Aviv's firm called Stoic, and interestingly, they targeted Black Democratic politicians. They used ChatGPT to generate the posts and created 3 fake English language news sites with pro-Israel articles. So it actually began in October 2023 and was part Meta and OpenAI. I mean, I could probably do with Stoic sorting out my social media for my business if they manage to, keep a wall going. Not with fake stuff, just could do with somebody doing it for me. They did sponsors, trips, and content creation. So they funded all expenses paid tours for influencers to visit Israel or Gaza, where they're encouraged to produce content. Actually, they should, if they are being paid to promote. So if you're on TikTok and you see these kind of influencers, you'll have to press the button that says they aren't. So when I upload my reels to TikTok, it says, are you promoting a brand, whether it's you or whether it's somebody else's? And if you're getting funding by somebody on TikTok's terms and conditions, you are supposed to be telling people. So it'd be interesting how many influencers are actually doing that. And that would be one very quick way that they end up losing their income, right? Because they're breaking the rules. Naughty. And if you spot any English ones, English or Welsh, you can report them to Ofcom. We'll talk about Ofcom later, but you can report them for Ofcom for not declaring that it is a paid promotion, an advert, right? Because they are advertising the brand. They're being paid to talk about it. People aren't thinking about that. Okay, where were we? Yes, we're encouraged to produce content aligned with Israel messaging, such as denying famine in Gaza or promoting biblical or conservative alignments. Direct payments and incentives. So 2023 payments of $1,000 a video. And they threats or coercion in some cases. Oh, that Jeffrey Epstein style blackmail will come in handy, won't it? Threats and coercion. I can't be threatened or coerced. I air all my dirty laundry in public. So Israel's PR budget for such efforts is set to increase 20-fold this year. Plans include bringing over 550 influencer delegations, right? So that's not even just 550 people, that's 550 delegations of people. So if there's just 10 people a time, right, that's 5,500 people being paid by Israel to pump out videos. And if I was getting paid $1,000 a time, I mean, I wouldn't be doing this shit. But if my only income was pumping out videos, right, doing stupid TikTok challenges, like that woman who actually used to do quite good content, and then all of a sudden she was making spaghetti on her kitchen table because why anyway. But if people have started to tune you out because you haven't actually got any substance, right? So a lot of influencers don't have any substance. Like, why would you keep tuning in to the same old shit? You're not learning anything new. After a while, the kind of like gawking at the weirdness disappears, and there's somebody else who's even weirder, right? So they are racing to the bottom of the weirdness. If you were having a declining income stream, then you're gonna be making the videos $1,000 a time for a 2-minute video in a car. Yeah, I do need to get a better job.